Hello, 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 gorgeous BDYPod family. Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me again for episode 3. I am so excited, as usual, because I have another banging episode to outlay for you today. So today we're talking about the growth mindset of body positivity and how to rewire your brain into believing that a happier version of you is literally just around the corner. So I've got some amazing information about growth mindsets and how we can apply them to body positivity. And then I'm going to lead on with 4 awesome tools that we can apply to help get you there faster. So thanks again for joining and so excited. Let's dive right in. Okay, let's talk brain, baby. Let's talk brain. So my beautiful brain, bless her heart, is a pessimistic bitch. She's given me so much grief, and she always gives me grief. She's like, basically walking around with a little stormy cloud over her head. And I'm like, come on, girl. We're an optimist. What are you doing? But I actually know that what she's doing isn't trying to sabotage my life. Actually, it's a biological trait. And it's because my brain is wired to keep me alive, believe it or not. So sometimes keeping me alive means hyperfixating on certain flaws, bless, or overthinking things constantly, bless, or just generally comparing myself to everyone else. Because actually, that used to be how we would have to be to survive. So I guess I can cut her some slack. But the thing is, the brain's actually magic. Magic for plastic. The best thing is that our brain has heard a narrative, a thought, a vision, and it's familiar. It knows that thought. We think it often. In our case, it might be, you're not good enough. And it's been thinking and thinking and thinking. And what the brain perceives to be true isn't necessarily true at all. In fact, much of the things that we believe are only because the brain has logically looked at it and said that's justifiable, therefore it must be true. But in fact, it's only the information that it's been given. It doesn't mean that whatever the thing is actually true. So let's break that down a little bit. Our beliefs can change. Our thoughts can change. Therefore, our confidence can grow. The way we are thinking and have been thinking about ourselves, it can change. And that automatic go-to narrative that we have in our head can move away from I'm not good enough to I'm pretty fucking good. All we have to do is rewire the brain. There's a saying that the meds love to drop, and that's thoughts that wire together fry together. I butchered that, oh my God. But basically what it means is when we are thinking thoughts and we continually think them, we are creating pathways. But this also means that we can create new pathways, which is pretty bloody cool. So your relationship with your body is not fixed. These thoughts that you have about yourself are not fixed. Today we'll be talking about the growth mindset version of body confidence and how to literally biohack your brain into believing that a happier, more powerful version of you is actually just around the corner. And it's fucking true. So let's jump in. So a growth mindset is really fucking simple. It's choosing to believe that who you are today isn't the limit of who you can become. It's the opposite of saying, this is just who I am. This is my body. This is just it. This is all it'll ever be. These things aren't, our thoughts and our confidence levels and our bodies aren't permanent fixtures. And we can rewrite them and rewire them. So a growth mindset is changing the narrative from this is just who I am to no, I can learn, I can shift, I can rewire how I see myself. My body confidence is a skill. It's not a personality trait. It's not something I was born with. It's something that I can learn. Your confidence, your self-belief, your body image, these are all things that aren't predisposed. These are things that you can learn. They are patterns. And if they're patterns, then you can rewire them. Have you ever heard of biohacking? It's pretty cool and it's all over Instagram. If you search it, There are some crazy biohackers out there. And it's very interesting. As the name would suggest, it's things that you can do relating to your biology that can essentially hack an outcome that you're looking to get, usually wellness and health related. Very cool stuff. Highly recommend. So, your brain forms beliefs through repetition, not through truth. So, if you've been thinking the same negative body image thoughts for years, your brain is going to accept them as the default. But the second that you introduce a new thought, even little ones, you break the pattern and you start carving new pathways. Enter neuroplasticity. This is a growth mindset in action. This is creating new thought patterns that begin with I can, I will, I'm able, instead of I can't, this is it, reached my ceiling. So essentially, we are knocking over the old pathways, establishing new pathways. So, how do we bring in body confidence into that? So, we can't just jump from the narrative that we've told ourselves forever that I hate how I look to oh, I fucking love my body. It doesn't work that quickly. We need to go through some shifts first to get ourselves there. It's going to go from the self-critical version that we have right now, moving on to like a neutral version, like, okay, this is, I'm not happy, I'm not sad, I'm neutral. We then will move over to appreciation. Yes, okay, I do have strong legs that get me from A to B. Yes, I can see, hear, taste, and smell. We start to appreciate it. And then finally, we'll arrive at empowerment. So, fuck yeah, I got it, baby. I am so much more powerful and bigger and greater than just the makeup of my body. And that's what we're aiming for. So, we want to be moving away from this looks awful to my body's doing its best today. Or I'll never be confident to I'm learning confidence. You don't need to be the best confident version of you just yet. All you need to do is just believe that she exists. If she exists, even as just an idea, your brain will start to move you toward her. Confidence is built in micro movements. We need to be showing up. We need to be wearing something a little bit bolder. We need to be walking taller. We need to be setting fucking boundaries. We need to be walking with our shoulders back and our head held high, eyeballing people, not aggressively, but making eye contact and smiling. That's probably a better start. We will start to behave our way into confidence. So let's talk about some hacks, some little hacks. We do love a hack. We're biohacking. Tools. We've got tools today. All right. So, tool number one thought better. So I know that you, like me, stand in front of a mirror and immediately go, fuck, I look disgusting. Look at that leg, belly, arm, vagina, titty, whatever it is. I'm not good enough. This is just a natural habit. I'm sure if you're listening, you and I have developed. It's a habit. This also means that we can break the habit. So when we're in front of the mirror, we're finding ourselves going down that road, those fixed thoughts of this is it, look at my fucking ugly item that I'm hyperfixating on. Snap, click your fingers, break the chain of thought. Snap your fingers and break that chain. Once you've snapped your fingers, it's going to stop your brain in its tracks and go, oop, something else. Then we need to neutralize it. We need to neutralize the negative thought, and then we can start creating the new pathway. So we've snapped and we want to move on to the next thought. We don't have to jump into looking yourself in the eye and being like, I love you and you're okay and you're going to be confident. But let's start with something neutral, like you're a strong person and you're learning to be confident. And with that, you need to walk away. That's hack number one. So just to repeat, when you find yourself straying down the road of looking yourself in the mirror, being critical, and you're beginning to self-analyze in a negative way, click those fingers, baby. Stop, neutralize the thought, counteract it with something that doesn't have to be oomy-goomy, too mushy and lovey. Just start with something neutral. Like, I'm so glad that I can see clearly and hear well. Or, I have been dealing with a lot lately and I'm proud of myself for putting my self-care routine as a non-negotiable. Something like that. And as soon as you've started a new pathway that feels better, then you just need to turn around and walk away. And that's it. All right, so tool number 2 of our biohack list for this week is mirror neutrality, being neutral in the mirror. So we spoke about some shifts that we would go through while we're changing to a growth mindset for body positivity. We're going to go from our self-criticism to neutral, then appreciation, then empowerment. So this tool is about getting to being body neutral when we're looking in the mirror again. And this time, this is a conscious practice. So this isn't a tool to get you out of a bad thought path. This is something that actually we're going to mindfully, purposefully do. Get to that mirror, baby. Look into the mirror. But this time, you want to give yourself a neutral comment. And it just has to be about you. So it might be that I have put my hair up today. I am wearing an amazing BDYPos t-shirt and some kick-ass leggings. I have clean socks on, which is always good. Then, thought number 2 is going to be, I am glad that I have the ability to grow hair and have hair. I am glad that I have the ability to purchase clothing that I like, and that's amazing quality. Number 3, I am glad that I have the ability to wash my clothing, wear clean, comfortable socks. So without even knowing it, we've gone neutral, but we've also hyped ourselves up a little bit. We've spent some time gassing up the good stuff, and we've moved it away from not vanity, but self-critical visual issues. So once we start to repeat this tool and get a little bit more confident in our neutral thoughts and giving ourselves the kind of secondary hyped up acknowledgements, you will naturally progress to feeling grateful and feeling gratitude for your life, being mindful in the moment of the things that you have that are positive, and spending time acknowledging attributes that are outside of conformities that have been handed to us that we do not need to apply to ourselves. That is tool number 2, being neutral in the mirror. Yeah, that's a good one. All right, tool number 3. This one I think actually is my favorite. So this is meeting future you. This is so exciting, and I love doing this because it's daydreaming, manifesting. It's your, like when you were a little person and you were looking forward to your future and you were visualizing how amazing it would be to be a space cowboy or whatever it was. We're doing that again. We are channeling our inner baby girls, and we are looking forward. We are imagining, creating, and looking forward to meeting the future beautiful, empowered version of ourselves. So you can pick any time to do this. I like to do it while I'm trying to go to sleep, when my mind's still a little bit, hyped up and doing thoughts. It's a great time to start. I don't want to channel like a manifesting situation, but it is basically that. We're going to be using visualization. We're going to lie in bed and be picturing the version of ourselves in the future that is confident, empowered, happy, and enriched with well-being. So we can visualize how she's sitting comfortably and relaxed and laughing and smiling. She might have a certain outfit on. Maybe she's dancing confidently. Maybe she's speaking and laughing with a new group of amazing friends, or with a spouse, or whatever it is. We are going to be envisioning the future woman that the confident version of us that we're aspiring to be is. Make sure that we focus on the details of her too. So we want to see her laughing, and then feel the happiness that she's feeling. Channel some empathy and compassion, but also respect, and really start to sink into the feelings and emotions that she's experiencing. So once we've kind of created her and we've got her in our visions, then we need to think about what's some small ways that I can behave and be like her. I noticed that she was wearing red lipstick. Maybe in the next week you might go out and get yourself something a little brighter than you usually wear. Maybe in the next week you might join a book club. Maybe in the next week you might join a yoga class. Put yourself out there in a social situation that you normally wouldn't do, but be making small steps consciously toward what you think that this version of you would be doing. And also, once we've created this version of ourselves and we're looking at her as something we can embody at some point, and we've applied our growth mindset where we're saying, I can be like you one day. I can be her. I can be her. Once we believe that and we start going, yes, it's possible. Yes, I can. Yes, I am enough. Yes, I can be that version of myself that I'm dreaming about before I go to bed. Then subconsciously, your brain will automatically start making micro decisions, pushing you towards living out the fantasy and becoming the woman of your dreams. Tool number 4, interrupt and replace. So this tool we're going to be applying when our negative thought patterns are following their usual track. Those recurring bad boys that pop up with their ugliness all the time. The narrative, you're not good enough, you're a piece of shit, you look like shit, those little pearls. Well, when they come into our brains, what we need to do with this hack is we need to stop them before they start spiraling and use that and reframe it in a way that is more positive. So let me unpack a little. So let's just say we're looking at ourselves in an outfit and we're just like, girl, you can't pull this off. You look like crap. You can't be seen in that outfit. What we need to do is, number 1, keep the outfit on. Unless it's a risk to your health, you chose it for a reason, keep the fucking outfit on, you look amazing. But at that moment, we're not going to think that ourselves. So then we need to frame, instead of forcing ourselves to be like, be confident, you can do it, be confident, that's just jumping a little far. What we want to do is replace that, you look like a piece of shit, with, I'm allowed to try to be bold. I'm allowed to create a new pattern. I'm allowed to do things that make me feel happy. So what we're doing is giving ourselves permission to make choices that are supporting our new thought patterns. It's kind of like just resetting the script a little bit. So if we were thinking, oh God, everyone's going to judge me, maybe we can change the thought to be, people actually are all thinking about themselves. No one's even going to be looking at me. Perhaps we're thinking, oh my God, I look like a fucking whale in this outfit. We can change it with, this is just how my body looks at the moment, and that's okay. I'm allowed to be kind to myself. It might be, I can't leave the fucking house like this. And we can change it to, I'm allowed to show up in my life however I see fit. We're essentially going to be flipping the script. And again, the more we practice this and repeat it, the less the pathways will be running rampant. So I guess what it really comes down to is you don't really need to be the confident version of yourself just yet, but you really need to believe that she exists. You need to believe that she is achievable. So we got to work on having the image of her in our brains, keeping her there in a sacred place, bringing her out when we've got a quiet mind, watching her dance and laugh and believing that that's what we're working towards. If she exists even as an idea, your brain will slowly start to move you toward being her. Confidence is just built in micro movements. Like showing up and walking a little taller. So the happier, more stronger, more confident version of you really isn't far away. She's already forming inside your brain. She's already started. That's why you're here. Every time you choose a growth mindset, you're going to be moving toward her. You will become her. She's just around the corner, and I can't wait to meet her. So, thanks so much for sitting with me today. If you found some benefit in this, I would really love it if you could share with another girl or woman that this might benefit. And of course, if you could like or comment or subscribe, that would be brilliant too, to help me get my good news out there and to get some more reach. Now, I would love to hear what you liked about the episode. I'd also like to hear if there's anything you'd like me to research and bring to the pod. The Bod Pod is, after all, for the community, and so let's bring in the community. Also, if you feel like you want to be interviewed or join me as a co-host, that could be fun too. So reach out. Let's collab. Let's connect, baby. And don't forget, start your growth mindset today and drop the fixed mindset. It's not serving you, babe. Not at all. All right. Much, much love. My name is Rose Bennett, and I will be seeing you soon.